Hey everybody, how's it going? Long time no politics stream. But we're doing one. We're keeping our streak going. Let's adjust our video here, make us like get in frame. Look at my new brown couch. Thanks, Grandpa. Put it together. Here, you guys won't be able to hear me, but just watch this. Watch this. Let's see if I can show you. Watch this. Watch this. Just wait. It'll be worth it. Hang on. Whoa. Whoa. Oh. 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 It's pretty good. That'll get him in the first 30 seconds. For sure. For sure. I knocked over my piano bench. This is what I'm going to be sitting on. I can't. Maybe I could. Get pretty close. That's pretty close. I got to kind of set up on it. But it works. Anyway. Let's go right into it. So you guys thought you could vote for Donald Trump and you could kill woke. But you did not know that Joe Biden was going to blow up the world on his way out. Think about it. That's more or less what's going on. It's going to be a good time. First of all, to open up this stream, I also sent the link to Dad and Dave, and we'll see. Send it to another friend, Ashton. He might be dropping in here and there. But I don't know if you guys know this about me or not. I went to a prestigious journalism school for my graduate degree. And I did not particularly fit in well there. With that in mind, I would like to share with you the fact that woke seems to be dying first and foremost in the realm of the mainstream media. So I have a little clip pulled up here, and I thoroughly enjoyed this, and I can comment on this and tell you guys some behind the scenes of what it's like to go to one of the institutions surrounded by people like this. So let's put them up. Let's put them up here on the board. Here they are. Now, let's start with this guy. This will be good. Here we go. Start with this.
In 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a...
Here you go.
Wait, so watch this.
You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, in 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter.
Yeah, 300 words on X doesn't make you a journalist, but reading a memo handed down to you from the military-industrial complex, that certainly makes you a journalist, right? At least by today's standards. Lying about every war in my lifetime, that makes you a journalist, right? Lying about RFK, lying about Russiagate.
Jimmy really comments on this for a while. Oh, he had a little bit before that. Hang on. That's the part I wanted to see.
An award at the national becoming...
Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media. You are the media. My message to Elon Musk is, bullshit. You're not the media. You having...
So here we see a bullshitter telling a room full of other bullshitters that none of them are full of shit. So what do they do in response? Of course, they applaud. This is amazing. Let's watch. I'll take it from the top.
Everything we do is under fire. Elon Musk sits on Twitter every day, or X today, saying like, we are the media. You are the media. My message to Elon Musk is, bullshit. You're not the media. You having...
Doesn't it? Wait, when you have to scream that it makes it sound like they are the media. It makes it sound like you're afraid you're not relevant anymore. Methinks thou protest too much. If you're still the media and Twitter wasn't the media, why would you give a shit? The only reason you care is because you know It's over for you. No matter how many stupid awards you all give each other, people are done. They're getting ready to sell off MSNBC. CNN, they're leaving CNN like rats fleeing a sinking ship. And I bet you Chris Cuomo is so happy he got fired because now he's got a real job. He's got another job over at News Nation. Anyway, so watch this.
You having a blue check mark, a Twitter handle, and 300 words of cleverness doesn't make you a reporter. You don't do that by popping off on Twitter.
Yeah, 300 words on X doesn't make you a journalist, but reading a memo handed down to you from the military-industrial by taking it up, right? And feel keep you sound like a little.
Let's go for Joe here.
Whoa. First of all,
Yay to see ya.
said,
Yeah.
So they just watched that clip on MSNBC, and then they're going to comment on it.
to say extraordinary content. It needed to be said.
Yeah.
It continues to need to be said.
Yeah, it needed to be said because no one's watching us anymore. I wish someone would say it more. Yeah. Yeah. Why does it need to be said? What? Listen to this.
All of the garbage that's flying around on social media, lying about reporters, lying about the hard work they do, lying about the hard work editors do.
What lies? The people, again, the biggest liars in the world are the government. Second are these guys, corporate media. And by a long distant third are randos on social media. The biggest liars are these guys. And I'm going to show you a video of this guy lying right to your face in a second.
About
well, by the way, this is the irony is this is a lie. That's the irony, is what they're saying right here is a lie.
Thing up and down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do. Or if social media, people lying every day, every hour, every minute about the news. What you do matters. What the New York Times does matters. What the Wall Street Journal does matters. What Jonathan Lemire does matters. What the Financial Times does matters. What NBC News and MSNBC reporters do matters.
If it did, why do you have to scream it? It's like a comedian coming off stage going, "I'm really funny." You know who doesn't have to say that? Brian Regan. Brian Regan doesn't have. Chris Rock.
Well, that gives you the idea. Well, let me just tell you. I went to the Missouri School of Journalism. They call it the Mizzou Mafia. Next to Columbia in New York City. Most people think Mizzou is the next best prestigious journalism school in the country. I was the only kid in the school, even though it was a college in state in Missouri. I was the only student in the graduate program from rural Missouri. I was the only one. They looked at me like a hillbilly alien. Which, I don't know. In my letter to get in there, I was like, well, I love Mark Twain, and, I guess it worked. But I did not fit in there. It was also kind of weird. I was in my advisor's class, and he gave us this paper to read on Robert McChesney. And what the paper said was that before 1900, in St. Louis, I think was the example, there were 50 newspapers in St. Louis. There was everything from far left commie rags to, the newspaper, the KKK. Fascist America. Everything in between. There are 50 papers in between. And you got to read them all and make up your own mind. And then in the robber baron era, late 19th, early 20th century, William Randolph Hearst and crew bought up all those newspapers and they squished them down into the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And then they needed to train a group of people, these people, to write news right to the center. All the people he said matters. Let's see who he said. I want to hear it.
Down about not only their alternative set of facts, but alternative set of facts about what people like you do. Or if social media, people lying every day.
Well, by the way, this is it's corporate.
Do around on social media about reporters.
Record. But it shows the irony right here.
About not only you, what you do matters. What the New York Times does
New York Times.
matters.
The New York Times.
What the Wall Street Journal does
Wall Street
matters.
Journal.
The Wall Street Journal.
What Jonathan Lemire does matters.
Who the hell is Jonathan Lemire? Have you ever heard of Joe Rogan? I would love to do like an American poll. How many of you have heard of Joe Rogan? How many of you have heard of Jonathan Lemire?
What the Financial Times does matter.
How many of you have ever read the Financial Times? I don't think I've ever read the Financial Times. And I went to a prestigious journalism school.
What NBC News and MSNBC
Okay,
reporters do matters.
Now we're just getting goofy. Okay. So anyway, they bought up all those papers. They squished them down into the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, maybe one other one. I can't remember exactly what it says in the McChesney piece. And that away, they could sell papers to that wide range. There was this middle ground called objectivity. And then they said, well, to get people to write that way, we need to establish a set of schools to train professional journalists. One of those schools was Columbia, and then it says the other school, I think it was Pulitzer's friend or Hearst's friend, or I can't remember his name, Walter Williams or something like that. I remember the building was named after the guy. One of them was in Columbia, Missouri, the University of Missouri, School of Journalism. And I was there and I was reading this paper. I was like, holy I'm in the den of indoctrination. I just signed up for the school because I was good at writing. I liked Mark Twain. I'm really into politics, and a lot of my favorite writers were journalists. Mark Twain, Ernest Hemingway, George Orwell. These people did journalism in their life. I loved Chuck Klosterman. I loved reading his music stuff. So I wanted to go and sharpen my skills in that way. And really what I felt when I got there, I could tell you story after story. Okay. I was in like the height of woke, and I didn't even realize it. I was there from 2012 to 2014. I once got in trouble for writing an email to two women. It was my professor and a girl that was in my class. And in the email, I titled it Ladies, comma. I did not mean I'm writing an email to two women. Women, comma, seems weird. I was in a professional atmosphere. I decided I would say, lady, I got an email back. Got a set down meeting. like my professor was so upset with me that I had addressed them as ladies. And I said, well, what would you prefer me call you? And she was like, you can just call me Suzanne. And I'm like, I go, well, I called you ladies because, you know, that's how my mom taught me to talk to women in a respectful way, which made her more mad. The din of hyphenated last names, we could call it. Anyway, I could tell you so many more stories about that, but there was no sense of, I remember when I was there, because I was very into like the internet and, you know, what the internet could do, its ability to share information with each other instantly. We were all there going to school to like learn this trade. And it was a thing like, oh, if you go to school here, you'll get your foot in the door in New York. I had no interest in going to New York whatsoever. So it put me in a unique spot. But you could feel it. You could feel it when you were there. A real sense of we're better than everybody. And I remember trying to communicate to one of my professors because he wrote an article for a media journal on WikiLeaks. And I was like, oh, man, I love WikiLeaks. Like, they're my favorite. And I kept trying to communicate to him that I thought WikiLeaks was awesome. And he was very sort of like apprehensive about it, about WikiLeaks. And I remember once we had a class discussion, and the subject of the discussion was, do you think everyone can be a journalist, like citizen journalism, or do you think, pretty much, I mean, they didn't say it this way, but do you think it requires special training and it's part of a privileged group? Which do you think? And I was totally on the citizen journalist side. It's funny looking back because friends that liked what I had to say in class discussion, they were like, you should start a podcast. I remember this one guy, he goes, you start a podcast, and if you keep it under 10 minutes, I'd definitely listen to it. And I was like, okay. But even at that time, like, I had no interest in writing for a magazine. Once they set me aside, because it was pretty obvious I didn't have any interest in writing for a magazine. And because I just hated the culture of it. I worked for a TV station once. Oh my God. Thank God in heaven I never got a job at a TV station. You want to talk about some of the meanest, most hateful people you can imagine? And in that journalism school, more people check themselves in. At Mizzou, I think you got 10 free therapy sessions with the psychology department. There was more people going to therapy from the journalism school. And this was before like going to therapy was like a woke joke. These kids, I mean, we would sleep like 4 hours and just work our asses off and then get yelled at for being horrible. It was, I don't understand why they did that. Like, it was just a culture of like haughtiness. It's what's behind Kamala Harris's smile. Like when the cameras go off. I've seen this. I know how she treats people behind the scenes because that's what it was like. It was, I don't know, just with my own students. Like if they ask for help, there's no way I would talk to them like condescend to them or, tell them I've given you so many chances. I would never do that. I'd be like, thank God you're interested in this subject. Do this and I'll help you. But it was not like that. And I'm glad that we're finally there. I'm glad that these people are sweating. Because the New York Times matters. You listening to this, when's the last time you read the New York Times? It's like got to be a generational thing. Because I'll hear Chomsky or what's his name? Finkelstein. They'll talk about reading the Times, and I'm like, or Chris Hedges. None of my generation reads it. They would go around the room at journalism school and be like, who do you want to write for? The New Yorker. And they would always get to me and I would say The Onion. I wasn't joking. But I don't know why I would want to write for anyone else when you can just get on here and do this. And thank God we're here. Thank God we're here. I heard, what was it? Joe Rogan his Trump episode got 50 million views, which was more views than CNN gets in an entire week of 24-hour news coverage. We're finally there. And thank God. We're going back to the 50 small newspapers. Because I talked to my aunt at Thanksgiving, and she's like, well, I just don't know what podcasts to listen to. There's so many. With TV, you could just turn it on, and there was only a couple of channels, and you were all on the same page. And I'm like, that's good. And then I explained to her how there used to be 50 newspapers in St. Louis. And you just kind of pick and choose and make up your own mind. And we're going back to that. Because now you can get more interesting media, a perspective. Like me, I'm a school teacher that just worked at Walmart all day. I'm going home and doing this political live stream at night at 8:51 p.m. I'm exhausted. I worked all day. Like, you think these people live like that? Think Joe Scarborough has any idea what my life is like? Or Spignew Brzezinski's daughter knows what my life is like? Your dad's here. Let's get him.
They even never met you.
What do you think, Dad? I'm pulling you in here.
Oh,
Hang
yeah.
on, your feedback is really bad. Do you have headphones? Hang on. I'm gonna turn this on. I didn't have it on. Echo cancellation. All right, let's try that. Let's see. Try it now. That should work. I'm still getting bad feedback. Do you have it on the TV?
Yeah.
Is the volume
But I
up?
got the TV turned down all the way down.
Do you have your headphones you can wear?
Oh, I got them, but I'm moving around right now. How come it's different than it was last time?
I don't know. But I hear feedback whenever I talk.
When you talk or when I talk?
Turn it up on the TV and you'll hear it.
Whenever I talk. When you talk or when I talk?
See when I talk, what happened?
Yeah, it's you. My end's not echoing, though.
No, it's not echoing because the words are coming out of your speakers and playing back through your microphone.
Okay. Here, let me see if this helps. Hold on. Yeah, come on.
Well, why don't you just get situated with whatever you need to do, and then when you find your headphones, you can come back and I'll plug you in, okay?
Okay. Hold on a minute. Okay. So,
Okay, when you find your headphones, I'll put you back in, okay? All right, so I've muted you now, and if you notice, you can't hear any feedback because you're muted. All right, so the feedback's coming. It's because it's coming out of your phone speakers and going back through your phone's microphone. So if you wear headphones, it will cut off that feedback link. Anyway, so while Dad's figuring that out, woke World War III. Let's talk a little bit about that. I thought about having clips queued up and whatnot. I've really been kind of encouraged by Garland. Garland, he doesn't play a whole lot of clips. Sometimes he'll read an article here or there, but when you swim in this stuff all day long, like I've been listening to the news all day. I was filling pills at work, one headphone in, listening to the news. They're trying like hell to get World War III started, no matter what. Martin Armstrong, one of my favorite stock traders, he said the reason is they know, and he's real connected, plugged in guy. He said the reason they're doing that, is because they know when Trump gets in, he's going to fire tons of them. I also just heard a video where Putin said that the Democrats and the deep state, the Bideners, went after Trump's family. And he's like, even Russian mobsters don't go after people's family. It's man to man. They went after his family. And I'm pretty sure he is afraid that they're still going to take him out. They very well could. That could be why some of these cabinet picks seem a little flimsy. I think that's fair to say. Some of them seem good. Some of them seem flimsy. I am quite disheartened that Matt Gaetz is out already. If they're able to break that one, then that's just not a good sign for what's to come. They broke Gaetz. Evidently now they're going after Gabbard. They want Tulsi out. They want RFK out. Think of how disheartening that will be. If they get Gaetz out, they get Tulsi out, and they get RFK out. I don't think the last two I don't think they're going to be able to get them out. But I think that's worth keeping in mind that, they've already shot at the guy twice, right? Dad has unmuted himself, and the feedback is back. Where's your headphones, Dad? I literally bought you headphones and delivered them to your house, and you will not wear them. It's killing me. Put your headphones on. Please, Father. I ask with the utmost respect and dedication. Edward Allen has been wondering the same thing. Yeah, man. They're threatening. I think they still are threatening Trump's life. And I think that's why he is being real quiet behind the scenes. These people are, you see what they're doing to Russia. I heard today some NATO ships surrounded a Chinese vessel. NATO ships surrounded a Chinese ship. So they're like, well, I guess. It really does seem like, let's poke Russia in the eye and then we'll poke China in the eye and see if they hit us back. Because if they hit us back, then we can start World War III. And Trump won't be able to get rid of us quite so easy if we're in a hot war with a parity power. Oh, well, we poked them in the eye, sir. They didn't do anything. Well, why don't you try smacking them in the face, aka shooting a missile into their country? Well, we tried that, sir. They're not fighting back. Well, why don't you cut off one of their toes? Try it out, Dad. What do you think? Oh. Unmute Mike. Talk. Give it a shot.
Okay, you still got echo?
Nope. The echo is gone, sir. You did it. You did it. We need a sound effect, everybody. Yay! Cheers! Applause!
I've now satisfied your little heart's desire.
G is back. Believe me, the audience will be grateful. Will be grateful. I tried once, guys. I brought my father. I brought him a $300 MV7 Shure professional microphone. I brought it over to his house. I installed the software on his computer. I plugged it up to his computer. I sent him the link, and then he did not use it. He continued to use his cell phone as his microphone because he didn't like the light over there. And you can lead a dad to a professional microphone, but you can't make him speak into it. But it's okay, because I respect my elders, and if he wants to use his cell phone microphone, I'm not going to get in the way. I'm not going to pull Joe Biden and shoot a missile into Dad's house. What do you think about all that, Dad? What do you think about them trying to start World War III because woke is dead?
Well, they probably think if they get us in over there deep enough, that Trump won't be able to cut funding. Is what I think. They want to get him in so deep that it'll be hard for him to get out. They're that stupid.
Yeah, they are pretty stupid.
They'd rather see people die than admit that they're wrong. You know, pride goeth before a fall. So.
Pride goeth before a fall, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the Ukrainians who died, so Biden could sleep easy. And I gladly stand up. Look who's here, Dad. Mr. Wonderful. Hello, friends. What is GTSY?
Well, hello, comrade.
mean? What is GTSY?
Hello, comrade.
Mean? Good to see you. Good to see you too, Mr. Wonderful.
We missed you last time.
This is our bread and butter stream, the Friday night stream, political stream. I was so tired. I got off work, Dad, and I was like, man, I just am so exhausted. But I'm on a YouTube daily stream streak, and I'm gonna try to keep it up. We're gonna get on here, and we'll just talk politics to Dad for an hour and call it. And I thought of the thumbnail and the title while I was making my breakfast sandwich. Let's take a look at some stocks here. Dad, have I ever showed you that video of Julian Assange about the The war in Afghanistan.
No.
It's my
You
favorite
should have
one.
read that. There's your trouble. Your professor tried to tell you. You see, you're worried about them stocks. Yeah, see, you should have read the New York Financial Times, and you'd been.
I don't think I know how to spell Raytheon.
Yeah. Anyway,
This thinks Raytheon is a Brazilian company. I don't think that's true. How do you spell Raytheon? Yeah, I should have read the New York Times. Defunct. I guess Raytheon was. What is it now? RTX? RTX. So they've renamed themselves. Well, that's a branding exercise, isn't it? RTX. Let's put RTX on the weekly chart here and just see how they've done. Here we go.
just
There you go. Raytheon. RTX. Let's see.
a company you can trust.
Yeah, you can trust. Let's see. Where did the Ukraine war start? 2022, right? Somewhere in there. It was like February 2022. Right here. They are up 50%. 43%. So that's Raytheon. Who else could we look at? Boeing? Boeing's a little bad with the airliner. They're not doing too well with that one.
What's the name of it?
BlackRock. Northrop Grumman.
Yeah.
Northrop Grumman.
How about McDonnell Douglas?
There's Northrop Grumman. So this is since the Ukraine war started, February 2022. Right in there. They're up 37%. They went as high as 55. That's a lot of percent for one of these companies because their market cap's already huge. Was Lockheed Martin, were they bought out by Boeing?
Shoot,
I don't think so. I think they're still here. Let's take a look at them. Here we go. They may have done the best. February 2022. They're up about 40%. Got as high as 63%.
Check on McDonnell Douglas.
I think they were bought out.
Or are they?
Let's look. Was McDonnell Douglas bought out? Yep.
Who bought them?
Boeing. They merged with Boeing in 1997. Right here. 1997. So anyway, the defense contractors are doing well. So that's good. That's good to know. Let's see what Edward Allen says. Edward says, Empire correctly sees their opportunity window closing, so acceleration and escalation feel like existential necessities. In a way, they are right. Russia's hypersonic non-nuclear option was brilliant.
See, there's where you're missing it. You're trying to make money in all these different ways. That's where you're missing it. You need to get into business you need to get into business of making munitions to kill brown people in third world countries. That's where the money's at.
Well, I just find it interesting that I always kind of thought of MSNBC at this point was kind of a make work program for woke idiots anyway. I didn't really think of it as a making money institution, but you know, I feel in the last election it's really over. There was the podcast and the YouTube and the Rumble has taken the seat of what's relevant. I feel like I've known that a long time, or maybe
It's all about the money. Most people wouldn't do most things if it wasn't for the money.
but I don't know if I was ahead of the curve or maybe, I don't know. Like my main form of entertainment has been YouTube since
That's all I watch.
2012, maybe 2012. When I think back to YouTube around that time, there weren't many good political channels, though. It was like the Young Turks, Kyle Kalinske. They've kind of became jokes. Jimmy Dore wasn't even a big deal at that time. When I first started watching Jimmy Dore, he had about maybe a little, like around 100,000. Now he's like 1.4 million or something like that. But it was mainly like hippie, like drug documentaries and stuff like that at the time that I remember. Like it was far out there stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I was a little ahead of the curve.
What was I heard? You know Terrence Williams?
No.
Podcaster. Anyway, he said to the unhappiest women in the United States, Joy Reid and Joy Behar. He said, I think it's time that they change their name from Joy because they don't seem to be full of much joy these days.
No, they don't seem that joyful, do they?
What's with the joy?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. I mean, I just don't know what they expect Putin to do. Like, what would we do if Russia was shooting missiles, it'd be like the Cuban Missile Crisis if Cuba was shooting missiles into America.
If you know that, okay, I can see Russia's point. You know, if Russia put missiles in missile bases in Mexico, what do you think we'd do?
Yeah.
And so we're doing the same thing to them. And we wonder, well, why do they have a problem? Because they don't want you on your back door. And besides, the United States, once again, like they did with the Native Americans and everybody else, once again, they broke a treaty. After World War II, we had a treaty that NATO would not proceed no further than West Germany. Well, look where it's at today. Ding, 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 ding. What do we have for them, Johnny?
Yeah. Mr. Wonderful's on that exactly. What did he say from 2014 to 2022 in the DPR alone? Ukraine's Azov Neo-Yahtzee led military targeted and murdered almost 10,000 civilians, including almost 1,000 children. Well, there you go. Source: official data of the DPR representative office and the JCCC. Well, I mean, at this point, those numbers seem too oddly specific.
Oh, yeah, we're so perfect. I mean, like the United States never in its lifetime has ever led a covert operation to kill a government official of another country. Ding, 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 ding. What do we have for him, Johnny?
Yeah, I did an old stream once where they had deleted a Wikipedia page. I think it was called the Alley of the Angels. It was like dedicated in the DPR to all the children that had been killed in eastern Ukraine, and Wikipedia deleted the page. I dug into the discussion posts where the editors are discussing why they deleted the page, and they just said they deleted it because it was Russian propaganda. And I was like, I remember at the time I was like, well, couldn't someone just go there and look at it? if it exists.
You can't believe everything you read or hear either, because it's kind of like an interview I watched of that former CIA agent in Central America or in South America. He said they would make up stories and feed them to the news media,
Right.
to influence the direction that they wanted to take in order to fulfill their mission. And I'm like, oh Lord, lying is a sin. I mean, there is a place in hell for you people.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about it. If they felt guilty about it, it'd be different. But they have no conscience over it. There's no, they wallow around and work in their own self-righteousness. And, the CIA, they've wallowed in the mud so long. I mean, they can paint a pretty picture about themselves. It's like this. You can put a pretty bow on top of its head and put lipstick on a pig, but it is still a pig. And as soon as you get it, as soon as no one's looking, it's going to go right back to the mud hole. Ding, 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 ding.
Mr. Wonderful's talking about R2P, responsibility to protect. Let's see what that is that he's talking about here.
The question is to protect who? The people or the government?
The responsibility to protect is a global political commitment by the UN to address
here we go.
Concerns.
The United Narcissists.
As soon as Dad heard UN, he was going to go, ah.
Yeah, the United Narcissists.
4 key concerns to prevent genocide, war crimes, ethnic cleansing, and crimes against humanity. I just love that the U.S. doesn't say anything about Eastern Ukraine or Gaza, but then they talk about a genocide of Uyghurs in China. That's just it. They just make up stuff. They only use this when they want to take over a country. They don't care. If they're on our side, they don't care at all about genocide.
Yeah, you justify it with the people. Look what's going on. Look how bad it is. That's like the Americans. That's like that Ukraine war. You can sell the Americans. You can have them back anything if you wrap it up in red, white, and blue. Put a red bow on it and call it patriotism and shove it up their butt. They'll buy it every time. They're like sheep led to the slaughter. They'll just follow their master right over the precipices of the cliff into the lake of fire. Ding, 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 ding.
What do you think about the massive swing of minorities to Donald Trump, Dad?
Well, I think the hell somebody woke up.
Don't you think? I mean, to me, it's like
I tell you what's going to burn them. Yeah, I tell you what I just heard this evening. Now, this probably won't go by, but the far left, not liberal. Okay, I learned something. Okay, there's a difference. This far left, I'll tell you what. I heard today that some artist who thinks that Donald Trump is one of the most influential presidents, he's going to create when Trump got shot at and he raised his fist in the air?
Yeah.
Well, this artist is going to make a 2-story bronze statue of that event. 2 stories. I said, boy, that'll make, oh God, liberals' heads will spin off into frigging orbit.
I don't know. I heard on Pod Save America. That's kind of the heartbeat of the liberal establishment. The podcast Pod Save America. I've never listened to it. I've heard talk of this.
I heard of it yesterday.
But evidently Kamala's campaign managers went on there and pretty much said it wasn't her fault. She didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I wonder how much she paid to be on there.
I just feel like
Yeah.
if they don't look in the mirror after this, they never will, and they're not going to. I think they know
No.
they're cooked.
They blame it on everything else but what the real problem is.
And that's why they're launching missiles into Russia, because it's over. Like, you know, I feel like you can
Unless you're one of them idiots like Lindsey Graham. Well, it doesn't matter whether they win or lose. The more Russians we kill, they kill, the less we'll have to deal with in the future. What kind of idiot?
Can you imagine? Can you imagine if he said that about black people or women? Or
just
like, imagine if he said that about any other minority group. But you can be like flat out totally racist and genocidal against Russian people. Like, why is that okay?
Because they're still in that Cold War stuff. You know, Russia's evil and Orange Man bad.
Mr. Wonderful wants to know if you saw Kamala Harris get drunk and sob over losing power.
Yes. Did you see that? Now, the drunk, you know what? I think she was, you know what? Hey, blame Hunter. Who you probably think had the cocaine in the White House? She looks like she's high.
Let's see.
I don't think that's liquor.
We'll watch the Indians. What? Wait a second. That has to be an edit. There's no way that's real. Hang on.
Has done the latter, that she released a drunk video message. So Harris has kept to herself after the elections. We know that. No major public appearances, no policy speeches. Her team says she's coping with the results. That could mean some down campaigning. But the internet is convinced that Harris has taken to the bottom. They've even used artificial intelligence to drive home their point. Of course,
just leave it on that, Dad. There you go.
Well, that's AI. I'll tell you what, it's not a bottle. It's some kind of drug.
Mr. Wonderful liked it. I like Edward here. Western pillar of philosophy. People are bad except us. American exceptionalism. It really does feel like I went through a period, Edward, where I feel in the life of a trader.
We're the greatest. Yeah, we're the greatest. What? Instigators. We're a bunch of instigators.
In 2021, I went through a period where I made a lot of money and then I lost a lot of money. And I had read about this in books, but I had never been emotionally caught in it. And I started trading more and trying to make the money back. And I could feel in my bones that I was going to do that until I lost it all. And I really feel that that's where our ruling class is at right now. I remember at the time being like, this is how the American ruling class is going to play when they start to lose. Like, and it's almost like, for me, it was like, you know, a few $1,000s. It was a lot to me. And to the American ruling class, that's like losing Ukraine. You know, they lost it. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. You know. Do you think they're gonna try to put? You think they're gonna put NATO troops in there? I've heard that, Dad.
You know, when you got preachers in jail, and you know, it's gonna hurt Americans because a bunch of Nazis had to give something up.
It's not gonna hurt us. It's gonna hurt our ruling class, though, not us.
Oh well, shoot down them little crybabies.
But I mean, who is able to shoot an ATACMS missile into Russia? Like, who is able to give that order and make it happen? Do you know?
I guarantee you, there are American citizens on the ground.
Yeah.
First of all, in order to do that, you know, and it doesn't necessarily have to be military. It can be defense contractors, because Biden already signed a thing. Defense contractors are allowed in there for maintenance of equipment and training. I guarantee you, there was a U.S. citizen behind the firing of those missiles, because you have to have. You know what? That ain't no use to explain it to a bunch of people, because it's a waste of time. Because, you know, you can tell them, you could draw them a picture. You know, I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. Ding, 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 ding.
Well, speaking
What do
of,
we have
you
for him,
remember
Johnny?
Joe Scarborough yelling about
Joe Scarborough.
Yeah, Edward,
Him
you're
and-
right. Like that's it. That's how it felt when I lost that money. And then I started to like double down and try to trade harder to get it back. And that's how I feel that American are elite, what Putin keeps calling the elite. He doesn't talk to the American people like me and Dad. He talks to our elite. And he's like, you guys are going to lose your hegemony. You know, we're not going to get it back by doubling down on this tough talk.
I tell you the truth, they really don't care what you and I think. They think we're uneducated, doomed, we're deplorable, we're garbage. We're dumb hillbillies, and we don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Well, here's that New York Times that matters here, Dad. Do you remember this article, The Spy Wars, how the CIA
They're going to run a government operation, a foreign government operation. Shoot, they can't even handle hurricane. Here's a good one. Kamala said the other day that one of the main reasons she lost was because she said it was just improper timing. She said that at the time of the election, we had to have a hurricane and people died. Like, you're going to blame the poor people who died in a hurricane for you losing the election? I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe you giving them each $700 while you gave Ukraine like $50 billion.
Oh, Lord, you know what? Just slap me in the face. You know, it's like I said the other day, you know, if you're worried about the government coming to save you, it's kind of like that hurricane with FEMA. You know, they said something about FEMA was given instructions on how to handle a nuclear attack. I said, if you're waiting on FEMA to save your butt, you might as well just take a knife and go ahead and slit your throat and get it over with. Because if you're waiting on that bunch to save you,
yeah.
Besides, they probably wouldn't want to stop by and help us hillbillies anyway.
No, they'd go ahead and shove you off the roof like they did in New Orleans.
Yeah, we'll help that. They'll help that 15% in the county that voted the other way.
Yeah, exactly. The 15% in Dick County, where we live, right? What was it? I think it was 15% voted for Kamala.
Yeah, it was 85% voted for Trump.
85% Trump.
15%. I don't know who they are, because I've not met them, so I don't know who they are.
Oh, I know who they are. They teach with me at Salem High School. Here I want to show you this, the spy war, how the CIA secretly helps Ukraine fight Putin. This was in the New York Times.
Yeah, I'm glad to know, Mr. Wonderful. I'm glad to know you're still alive, that you're back.
He's back. For more than
Comrade.
a decade, the United States has nurtured a secret intelligence partnership with Ukraine that is now critical for both countries in countering Russia. And this says, a Ukrainian army soldier in a forest near Russia lines this month. A CIA-supported network of spy bases has been constructed in the past 8 years that includes 12 secret locations along the Russian border.
Oh no, we have no involvement. Oh no.
Right. So that was published in February 2024. Why would they publish this? Why would you tell them that? I don't understand it.
Well, it's kind of like the UFO deal. If we talk about and say it, you know, then you know, it's a way to divert our attention off of what they're really doing. Ding, 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 ding.
My only feeling was they wanted to brag about it, maybe, or like be like, "Hey, Putin, we're all up in your business. What are you gonna
Whatever
do about it?"
direction they tell you to look the other direction.
But I tell you what, if I wouldn't want to be one of these people in Ukraine right now. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Come back home. There's plenty of stuff to straighten out here, guys. Come back here. Maybe
What? Help the American people? Oh,
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
I thought we were here to, you know, I thought the election was all about electing people to save the government, not the people.
Not to start World War III.
No.
Oh man.
Their job
Thanks,
has become.
Edward said we're good mental health support. You are too, Edward.
We're good. What?
We make
We're
him
mental
feel
health
less,
support.
make him feel less crazy that he's not the only one out there thinking these things. He said that many scattered folks like us were much more isolated before YouTube. Finding their thinking and morality confirmed strengthened many, in my opinion. The crackdown was a bit late.
If it all hits the fan, you're not alone, brother. If it all hits the fan, this includes you too, comrade. If it all hits the fan, listen, you're already listening to participants in the resistance. Thank you.
Absolutely. I think that too.
Now,
you know, like sometimes only a few, maybe 100 people watch this, but maybe that's 100 people that wouldn't hear the news any other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So now you can investigate me, put a few pages on me. And no, CIA, I'm not going to participate in your MK Ultra program. Ding, 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 ding.
Dad, you've been in the depths of the American state. You've served as a corrections officer in AdSeg. You can't really get more in the belly of the American beast.
That's a friggin' joke. That's a money-making institution. And then we got, and I'm old enough to remember they said, I hear these newscasters on TV about 30 in their 40s, and I'm thinking, you know what? You ain't old enough to even know what the hell you're talking about. I lived through the Cold War. Get this, when I was a kid, we used to have these, they was talking about having, once again, having training in school for a nuclear attack. I said, yeah, I remember. I went through that in the 60s. You know what they told us? In case of a nuclear attack, if you hear the sirens, you need to get on the floor on your knees and cover your head under your desk. Now, I'll tell you what, if you can see the flash, your desk ain't going to save you. While you're bent over, you just might as well insert your head between your legs and kiss your butt goodbye.
There you go.
Because if you can actually see the flash,
yeah. Maybe scoop your melted eyeballs off the side of your face and, put them in a little cup. And, the dentist.
And if you're close enough, you'll just be baked like a chicken in an oven.
If you can scoop up your liquefied eyeballs off the floor and get to an optometrist in time, he can put them back in just like your tooth in a glass of milk. It's not a big deal. All he needs about 15 minutes to stay safe. Remember that FEMA article? You need 15 minutes. No, Mr. Wonderful, I heard that. They're already starting to divide up Ukraine like it's Berlin or something. Good luck. I want to see who gets the eastern southern and the eastern northern part. But I heard the Russian soldiers, Dad. The Russian soldiers are like, send the NATO boys over. We're ready. Send them over. That'd be easy. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, NATO, without the United States, NATO is nothing. Ding, 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 ding.
No, and I think the rest of the world would be glad if we pulled out of NATO because then they'd have to get along with each other instead of like.
Right. You hear about the protests in Georgia?
Not Atlanta, Georgia, right?
Not the state of Georgia, the country Georgia.
Stalin's home country of Georgia. Were they?
Yeah.
I heard they're fake. I heard the president got involved, and she went to some like Ivy League American university or something. That's a tell. They're trying to start a new front in Georgia, I guess. Well, that's what they did in Ukraine in 2014, the Maidan coup. They had a fake protest, and a bunch of Yahtzees shot into the crowd or whatever. And the president flew out in a helicopter. So they do the same playbook over
I
and over.
guarantee you.
January 6th.
Now, our audience is probably not that way, but they might be somebody out there listening. This is Americans. You know, Americans. They couldn't even point Ukraine out on the map, but
No,
they got an opinion. But they got an opinion about everything. You know, they're still trying to figure out. Georgia's a country. I thought it was a state.
So, Mr. Wonderful.
It is. It's both.
He said that
Georgia's a country is not Georgia's a state. Ding, ding, ding. This is for anyone listening who doesn't. Oh, my God. I tell you, we are truly living in a land of idiots.
I know it's a country. I was being goofy.
We got college students can't even tell you who the first president of the United States was.
I can. It was Abraham Lincoln.
They can't tell. No, it was. They can't even tell you which ocean borders. They can't even tell you which ocean borders the West Coast. 90% of them said the Pacific. I'm like, oh. I mean, the borders the East Coast, and I'm like, you know, what? First of all, what are you learning in college? But second of all, how did you get there?
Was Abraham Lincoln, was he the first president or the first black president? I forget.
Oh, my God, son. I know you're making a joke. Enough is enough.
I think he might have been the first black president. I know he had something to do with slavery.
The only thing he's first at is being the first Republican.
Oh.
Because we had two parties in the United States. Wonder how many people can name the other party. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. But I got a PhD. I don't care. I tell you what, before Abraham Lincoln, we had two parties. We had the Democrat Party and we had the Whig Party. And then we come up with the Republican Party and we done away with the Whig Party. And there was a lot of division. And a lot of the Whig Party went to Democrats. And we formed a new party, which is about what we need to do again, is form a new party because this bunch here. Just take a break, Gary.
You're all right, Dad. Think of your heart. Maybe we could have the toupee party since we had the Whig Party before.
The toupee party?
Yeah, something like that. Mix it up. Yeah, Mr. Wonderful was on us. I love that George Soros quote. He said we don't need the CIA anymore because we have the National Endowment for Democracy. They're over there.
No, we don't need the CIA. We got the Clinton Foundation.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh no, Dad, don't die on stream. I don't know. It might help my subscriber count.
I heard some talk yesterday. Now, surely that ain't true. That Hillary, now that Trump will be serving his second term and won't be able to run again, Hillary's thinking about running in 28.
Hillary?
Yeah.
Maybe her and Kamala could run together.
Because she won't be have to face Trump. And when I heard that, then I thought, then suddenly this thought come to me. Suddenly this thought come to me. Trump won in 2016, and who did he beat? Now, here, I'm going to get called some names over this one. He beat Hillary. He lost in 2020 to Joe, but he ran again here in 24 and won against who? Kamala. When are you Democrat women going to get wise? You don't run against Trump.
This is why
both
Kamala
times he won, he beat women.
Misogyny.
Trump I knew they're going to take it that direction. But if they're that silly that they wanted their mind to go that direction, you know, I can't help them.
I know I voted for Kamala.
I'm like all these people saying, well, she only won. She won because they didn't want a woman. Well,
yeah.
And they didn't want a black woman. Yeah, first of all, if that's what you think, then prepare to lose again, because that's not the reason she lost. She lost over policy, you bunch of idiots. Oh, but they're like, oh, it couldn't have been us. It's like this one campaign manager said, well, we done everything right. I just don't know how we lost. No, apparently you didn't do everything right, or you wouldn't have lost. You spent over $1 billion on stupid advertising that didn't, instead of speak to the people. Oh, Lord.
I can't blame Kamala. She did everything right. You know
what's this say? What's he say?
He said he's been watching the Georgia protests.
No,
and,
Hillary going to run because Trump will be out of office. Man, that would suck. How the hell can anyone think she can possibly win? Chelsea would beat her with a Trump. Hey, there's a good one. Yeah. Ha, 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 ha. Oh, Lord. I love to see Chelsea beat Hillary. Oh, Lord. Oh, my glass ceiling. My glass ceiling didn't break.
That'd be awesome. And then she would complain about her the whole time. How she's a Russian agent.
She complained. Oh, how can it be? How can the first woman president be a Republican? Oh my God, the world
Did you see those videos?
The sky is falling.
Did you see the video? Did you see the videos of Elizabeth Warren and AOC just calling Tulsi like a Russian asset? Did you see that?
Yes. This tells you
I don't normally get angry,
idiots.
but that made me angry. I was like,
it didn't make me angry. It just tells me they've run out of ammunition. If that's the only thing they got to lob over into the enemy line, then they've lost.
Yeah.
Well, they've already lost, but they've run out of ammunition. They don't have a comeback. And they think it's every other thing except what they think it is.
Well, knock on wood, we can make it to January 20th without the wokes blowing up the world because they lost. That's what I hope.
Hopefully we can make it into the next year without an assassination.
Amen. I think I'm a little worried that's why Trump's being so quiet, is because
even Putin's warning Trump. Be careful.
I know. Putin would know. He's talking about, I thought about that. Like Trump would like that, to hear like him talking about, I know they threaten your family, Donald. Like, I'm thinking of you, man. More or less, that's what he was saying. Like, I'm fighting these bastards. The same bastards tried to kill you and your family. They're trying to kill me and my family. Hopefully they can get together and have a big bro hug.
The more we learn about this shooter, the more ties we find. The more ties we find to was it BlackRock, and the CIA and.
Well, anybody that looks like
this. Same thing
this,
happened with Kennedy's assassination.
Anybody that looks like this doesn't have an internet presence. They couldn't find anything he posted on the internet.
Well, of course not.
Is this him too?
Of course not. When the people you work for clear the record for you.
Well, the people that put you up to it are the ones that built the internet. They can get you off there pretty quick. Anyway, Dad, I think I'm gonna wind it down and get off here. I'm gonna hit an hour. We'll do it again next week. We'll keep them short and sweet, and that way we can keep the momentum going.
Yeah.
Edward, thanks for stopping by. Mr. Wonderful, thanks for stopping by. Unlike, unsubscribe, and I'll send you some money. How about that? Peace, Mr. Wonderful. Peace, Dad. Anything you want to tell the people on your way out?
Nah, I just stay true to my mission.
We'll make it. Well, hey,
keep Lefty's head spinning.
Yes, sir. Yeah, the fake American left. We appreciate it.
We're the party of peace, love, and understanding. then why are you doing
Yeah,
all this
right.
evil stuff?
They're the party of Barack Obama and Netflix is what they're the party
Oh,
of.
Lord.
Anyway, I love you guys. You're not alone. Me and Dad will see you next week.
You're not alone.
God bless you all.
We are the somewhere in the deep, dark bowels of America, hidden away in a basement somewhere. We
Yeah.
are the resistance.
We are the
Hidden away in the basements.
85% Trump rule voters are hating what's going on right now. And if you see this Putin, it's not us. It's not us. Hey, don't aim for Central Missouri. Just take out.
Well,
take out the coast. You remember that Onion video where they're like, "Bomb New York."
I'll tell you what.
That'll be good for the AI. They'll like that.
I remember the strike of '86. Don't come down here and mess with us hillbillies.
Hey, my
It ain't gonna be as easy as you think it is.
my phone just died, so let's go to this one. There we go.
Did you hear what I said?
Say it one more time.
I said, just remember the strike of '86. Don't come down here and mess with us hillbillies. It might not be as easy as you think it is.
No.
We're not
The
going to
hillbillies.
we're not going to roll over and just go to sleep for you.
No, the Irish aren't really known for that, and we moved down in these old hills, so
Russia got, they say Russia's got Chinese, they got North Korean soldiers. I'll tell you what, if Russia was smart, they'd go over to Ireland and get a couple boatloads of Irishmen and a couple boatloads of whiskey to bring along with them, furnish them plenty of ammunition, and this would be over in 2 weeks.
yeah, the Russians are pretty
Get
tough,
a bunch
though.
of drunk Irishmen with weapons. Oh my God.
That one, yeah, we're more got worse tempers than the Russians. The Russians, they like getting drunk too. They come over and knock your head off afterwards.
The Irish are good at it. They've been fighting with each other for years.
Yeah, every man a king. Huey Long.
Don't
make us a slave. You try and make us a slave, we'll put an axe in your skull. I remember always hearing about people getting enslaved, and I was like, why don't they just go kill that
Who
guy?
was it said that? It was wasn't it a British commander said that, the Indians are one thing, but we'd rather face the Indians than the Irish.
Yeah. At least they're not the Irish. That's what he said.
At least they won't slip in the middle of the back and stick a hatchet in the back of your head.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you shouldn't have messed with me. That's all I think. So anyway, love you guys. This is how me and Dad say goodbye. It's like a 20-minute goodbye. So
yeah,
I'm hitting the button. God bless y'all. We'll see you next week.
Okay. Love y'all later.
Dad. Bye.